good day.
You too.
But you cannot take the picture of the farm. You can't. No, you can't. So I'm calling police now.
I'm not going to stick around for very long.
No. I'm calling police now.
Okay, I'm not going to stick around for very long.
No, I won't let you go. Sports bags.
You can't keep me here, though.
I can keep you here.
No, you can't.
Unless you delete it.
I'm not going to delete it. It's my photo.
I need a police, please.
Hello.
You have to delete it.
No, I don't.
You have to delete it.
No, I don't.
Yeah, you have to delete it.
No, I don't.
But you can't go anywhere. You cannot move.
I'm going to walk away.
No, you can't.
Okay, you're going to stop me.
I will destroy this camera.
Don't destroy my camera, because then you can call the police.
I will destroy this camera. Delete it, or you wait for police. I'm telling you.
Wow.
You have to delete it. He's taking the photograph. Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to go then.
Guerrilla Filmmaking. Creatively, all the resources you've got, 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 creative, all the resources you've got. It's not a pleasant watch.
Oh, by the way, I just recorded this audio, if you don't mind. I might use it in that, it's okay. You could say no, I won't use it.
You're sneaky.
It's fine. I know. Do you not want to be recorded?
No, do I? Nice try. You took me for a mug. Come on.
This is me and my friend Alex. we spent first year in living in the same halls, and we got on pretty well. Yeah, we worked on this allotment together. Tried to build this little greenhouse, which didn't work out so well. It ended up being that every time anything important would happen in an allotment is in the summer, so we'd just be going home during that. This is our mate Ben, and 3 of us used to steal food from bins all together. So we'd all get a bit rowdy, have a few beers, jump on our bikes, and we had a few favourites that we went for. We went for the Co-op down Danbury Avenue, and the one that's on the garage on the way to Asda, down the A3. So we'd cycle all the way down to the A3, down that towards the Asda, and looking for free food, basically. And all this stuff you see on the counters, that's all free. Our flat really liked us for it, bringing them food all the time. Yeah, we get a lot of bread. Bread was one of the things. We never went without bread. It was great. Really, really unhealthy, but still free food. So. Yeah, our motives were to... we didn't like the fact that the Co-op was wasting it a lot of the time. So we thought, well, we can pressure them to changing that policy, which they now have changed, so that worked out. Sometimes we go and we wouldn't find anything, like the bins would be empty. It was quite a downer when that happened. But when you come back with this amount of food after like a raid, you think you're like Robin Hood, and it feels like it's really exciting to come back with all this stuff. So Alex wanted to take this Swede, and I was reluctant. I was like, let's just prioritise on the bread and the cakes. Let's not take the vegetables. But actually, he makes a really nice Swede soup out of that, so I'm happy he did. That's us down in the Co-op that's down on the A3. Yeah, Alex would bring meat back for people sometimes, depending on how he thought he looked. Oh my god. That box of Mars bars. That's like a box of Mars bars with packets of Mars bars. Oh my god, there's so many. We found out that Jaffa cakes, the little boxes of Jaffa cakes, come in big tubes of Jaffa cakes that are 1 Jaffa cake box thick, I guess you'd say. And those come in a huge box of tubes. See, we had like, I don't know, 50 boxes of Jaffa cakes maybe at one point. We hated them by the end of it. Oh yeah, we found all these McCoys. Yeah, when we found these, a couple of things happened. So we were rummaging around in the bins, and a couple of police came out, because this is the Danbury Avenue Co-op, and it's right next to a police station. And a couple of guys came out, they were off duty, and we looked at them, they looked at us, and they said, yeah, just got to do what you got to do. So we had all this. We gave a box away, because we found a couple, I think. Well, we gave one away, we couldn't carry it, so there were some people who saw us doing it, and we thought we'd give it to them. Yeah, we thought we were real radicals. It was a bit ridiculous. But it was fun.
Porn cameras have no interest in capturing any normal sensual activities such as petting, caressing, making out, touching, hugging, kissing. In my private fantasies before watching porn, there was always a very strong narrative, and the narrative was of sensuality and mutuality, which means that I had always imagined what I will say to her. What would she possibly answer? What options do I have to respond? In real life, it never works like I planned, but it was super important in my mind in terms of arousal, the build-up, the location, the setting, where will it be? What are the circumstances of me and her being all alone all of a sudden? How will this bodily inflaming between us will emerge step by step. It was super important. Before porn. After making a habit out of porn, it conquers your mind and it invades your brain, and I lost my ability to imagine, which means I found myself trying to masturbate, just closing my eye, trying to fantasize desperately about something human and not making it because my head was bombarded with all those images of women being violated and subordinated and forced into pretending they enjoy diabolic sperm rituals, okay? Because porn as a genre, it's not about erotica or healthy sexual communication. It is all about male domination of women, subordinance of women, not only as a sexual practice, as a way of being, as a genderial hierarchy in this world.
My hair's a mess. Okay. What problems did I face? One of the biggest problems I have with filmmaking in general is finding the motivation to make a film. Things like camera sourcing, participants, locations, props aren't too difficult. They're difficult, but they're problems, and if you have motivation, you can overcome them. Motivation is the essential issue, and I don't like relying on too many people, so I tried to make film by myself as much as I can. This module really helped me with finding motivation. I had this platform where I was expected to make a film a week, and I tried really hard to jump on that and create a film a week. There are lots of films that I've half finished, and that wasn't necessarily due to lack of motivation. It was also due to not happy with the way they're looking or the way that they might turn out, or I envisioned something that wasn't necessarily how it looks once it's in there on the editing timeline, which is okay. I mean, they're failures, but they're failures having not tried them in the first place, and having the motivation to go and attempt them was still good. Like, for example, I was trying to make a film about frisbee. The thing about frisbee, it's really boring when you watch it. It's really fun to play it, but it's really boring to watch it. And so I tried a few things. The interesting thing would be the people, but I didn't want to make a film about people that I have to spend a lot of time with and a lot of energy with anyway, in a whole nother sphere or aspect, let alone trying to expend the energy to make a film about them as well. I'd rather have failed in making these films than having not really attempted them in the first place, because that's failing already. Personally, I don't enjoy cinemas. I consider them dark places where you have to sit and zone out and just accept what's in front of you. And it's kind of like sitting in a dark hotel room taking drugs. So, the 5 finished films that I made for the Guerrilla Filmmaking module, I've showed in class, and I've gotten direct feedback from them and feedback from my tutor, and all of that was really, really nice. Really enjoyed all of that. I'm kind of reluctant to post a lot of my films on the internet, and except the films that are there already and that have to be there. I'm trying to promote myself in some way. I don't particularly like doing that so much. Again, I've got to find the motivation to do that, really. I had a very particular idea to begin with, and that was to take a £20 note and just document the way that I spent it around as I travelled around London. My film simply states that Great Britain is defined by commas and capital. So I set out to take photos of various capitalist icons, such as price tags, ATM machines, and the G4S van. I got many reactions from people around me, One thing I didn't predict is, as I was making this film, is the attitude of people around me. I got quite a few funny looks from different people. The most confrontational reaction I included in the film, because I would take a lot of photos of various things to do with money, and the van, the G4S van, which is when I had the argument with the driver of the van.
I'm telling you, I will destroy this camera. Delete it, or you wait for police.
So the rationale for this film was in part to break the rule. I tried to follow the rule as much as possible in that the film had to be taken with just still photos, and it had to answer the question, what is Great Britain? But there's another rule which stated that you can't use any money in making these films, and I used a £20 note to make this film. Quite literally, it was one of the characters in the film. I wanted to make a film that would take me under an hour to make. It did take over an hour in the end, I think. I wanted to make a very quick film. I was aiming to make a film a week until I got to all 5 films. I had a vague idea that I wanted it to be kind of political, and I had a vague idea that I wanted it to be kind of answering the question, what is guerrilla filmmaking? A lot of my research led me to thinking that guerrilla films are largely based around giving yourself a set of rules and then trying to follow those rules, or challenges, much like in the Dogma 95 manifesto does with its vow of chastity. Setting yourself challenges or rules to follow when making films is really fun, and it's also really fun to try and break those rules, modulate them, or see how you can manipulate them or use them to your advantage. According to this module, I think guerrilla filmmaking is very largely influenced by the Dogma 95 manifesto. Dogma 95 has the express goal of countering certain tendencies in the cinema today. This is a quote from Dogma 95. They use this phrase, certain tendencies. They mean all sorts of things by this certain tendencies phrase. It's very vague. They mean cosmetic elements in cinema, such as extravagant set design.
You know? And like how you can't plant cabbage family in the same place 2 years running because it produces that disease in the soil. And it would be like, you were here last year, you can't come back here, and stuff, like to like a stray cabbage plant. You know what I mean? And like, what are you doing back here? I'm your mother!
Film 4 was an attempt to create a film that addresses political issues, both big P, politics, and little p, personal politics. I think this was achieved in the film because food waste is a big political problem, while the way that me and my friend Alex dealt with it was little and personal. It's true that we enjoyed dumpster diving. It was a lot of fun to do it. This may lead to the conclusion that we wanted the poor quality waste management that occurred so that we could take advantage, but truth be told, we wouldn't have cared not doing this if the waste food was managed well. We're not the ones who were wasting it. That's what I maintain. We were just taking advantage of it. About that, having made that film now, is I'm starting to go dumpster diving again on my own this time. I don't often find people to do it with me. So this film was meant to be in one take. Its use of lots of still photographs, not necessarily all taken by me, but some of them were taken by me, was arguably lots of takes, so it's not necessarily a one-take film. The voiceover was one take, and I made a few versions of the voiceover. The first one, the initial one, was the strongest I felt, because it contained a few moments of like stuttering, or a few clumsy moments in it. I've really valued that. Some elements of it were really spontaneous, and I wanted to include those. And there was no way I was going to cut that voiceover up, because then that wouldn't be one take, although it would have been very easy to cut that film together, because I could have cut on a click on the screen grab where I shifted image. But I didn't. That screen grab was all one take. I practiced very little bit in my head. I didn't want to over-rehearse it, because I feel like over-rehearsing stuff.
The diggers move so fast, they are blurred in my mind. How do they not destroy themselves by moving so fast?
What that I was mentioning to people in class was that how can we bend or break the rules, manipulate them, or find ways that I can use them or bend them to my advantage, in a sense. It's kind of like a game, I guess. I've been thinking a lot about what I would put in a manifesto, a film manifesto, and I guess I would like mine to be an uncodified manifesto, in the sense that it would have to be fluid and have to be able to change quite often, much like an uncodified constitution is. I try to, or I tend to question my assumptions a lot of the time. A manifesto, or creating rules for the films that I make, putting that in writing and then adhering to that and then trying to defend that wouldn't ever be possible, I think. Like, I'd always get either other people would criticize me on it and then I'd be swayed, I'd change my mind, or I'd question myself and end up changing my mind in that sense. So I think, like, for my manifesto, I value the ability to change my mind a lot, and the idea that I want to change my mind in the manifesto would kind of undermine the validity of the manifesto, because then it's not a manifesto, it's just a statement that, you know, contradicts itself. But my manifesto is that I want to change my mind.